Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Growler Cat. So I'm here to give you some insight, no pun intended, of a newbie's journey through Bloodborne. So I just barely beat Bloodborne, and I just kind of want to share my experience with it and show you what my thoughts were with the bosses for a newcomer to these types of games. And with me, I have Katykins.
Hi.
And we're just going to pretty much talk about the boss fights and everything, not really more so the traversal of the areas and stuff like that, because then the video would just take way too long. And I'm also just going to talk about when I finally won the battle. So we'll actually be showing whole footage of the battles that were, won. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to show like all the attempts and everything though, like that.
I know for myself, as I've only seen you fight a handful of these bosses, so some of them are going to be new to what
to you, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. So let's just get on with it. Okay, so for our first boss, it's the Cleric Beast, and this is my initial reaction was to leave. I didn't know that this was a boss fight. Okay. Yeah, so I was like, oh shit, I need to get out of here. I just literally started the game. I think this might be like about 30 to 40 minutes into the game, and I was just like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad. So I'm not really taking it seriously at this point. I'm doing good on blood vials, and I'm just like, all right, well, I'll just kind of play around with the boss. And I know that this game is about dying, right? Because like I stated earlier, this is my firstborn / Souls game. So it's like, all right, well, we'll just kind of, fool around and see what happens here.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing this pretty late at night. Might have had a few drinks. Me too. A little liquid courage there. But I also noticed too that the boss, didn't seem too bad. I mean, it's a pretty damn big boss, and with the epic music in the background and everything too, It's
intimidating.
Right, yeah, exactly. It made the fight just feel that much bigger than, I guess, what it really is. So now, me looking at this in retrospect, I guess people consider this an easy fight. I don't know exactly how true that is, so maybe somebody who's just kind of first timing this.
Well, I think, because I didn't watch you beat him, but I think I watced,
You watched the raw footage, right?
I did, yeah. And I mean...
Yeah, because I was like, oh, look what I did last night.
I know you were really happy. But he has a pattern. It's a very easy pattern to pick up. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of fun to just watch you as a new little character to that world, just kind of dodging and weaving and kind of working with him.
Right. And as you can see, I have all of the beginner, items and this and that, for future boss fights. You're not going to be seeing much of that. Right here was when I was like, okay, I guess I'm dead now. I honestly thought that was going to one-shot me. Mm-hmm. And when it didn't, it kind of starts to click into me after I get a few more hits into him, is when it kind of clicks into my head that, man, this can actually be done, I think I can actually do this. Uh-huh. So, yeah, I don't know. It's probably a really bad display, but again, this is a newbie's journey into it. Again, right there, he did it, but now I know I'm going to survive it. Uh-huh. And I'm a bit mad at myself here for getting clipped by the same damn move. So I'm like, oh god, get some distance, heal, whatever. I didn't even really know, not that maybe I didn't know, but I didn't more so pay attention that when you get hit by an attack, if you attack the enemy in a certain time frame, from that you can actually regain health.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Right, and I must have missed the note on that or something, but I end up picking up on it a bit later, and yeah, I don't know, but here I most definitely don't. So I think it's pretty much at this point here, and again, I know that this is a long first boss fight, but you also have to understand this is my first Souls Reborn game too, viewers out there, that at this point here is where I truly start to feel like, okay, man, this might actually be doable. I have 10 blood vials left. Mm-hmm. I'm absolute shit with the gun, but I noticed that hitting that big ass obvious hand, you know, definitely staggers it and does some damage. Not staggers it to the point where I can visceral.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's many lost opportunities there. And I just honestly, in my playthrough, I didn't really do too well when it came to using the gun. I was more so, you know, all about using like the two-handed phase of weapons, which is a good and a bad thing, as we'll see as this video goes on.
And I remember asking you a few times when you were fighting stuff, like why you weren't using your gun.
Right, because I just kind of never got acclimated to it. I don't think I gave myself enough time, really. I probably should have experimented with it a bit more. And, yeah, that's absolutely true. But at the same time, I was also just kind of going for what was working for me. Mm-hmm. And even though now I know, because now I'm doing my second run now, in which I do hope to upload a video of, like, all right, well, now, you know, this is where I was, this is where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, this fight's lasting a long time, but I think for the new fight against this guy, the fight lasts maybe like a minute and a half.
Oh, that's right,
most,
your
right.
new game plus.
Right, my new game plus, right.
Well, see, the one thing that I was going to suggest for you to do, because I know you said that you weren't really dabbling in the arcane skills in this game too much, the magic. Mm-hmm. I wonder how that would benefit you for certain boss fights if you're not going to really use your gun.
Well, now I feel like I am going to use my gun.
Are you?
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be doing a bit more of, like, yeah, the whole thing with the blood tinge or whatever. I don't even know the damn names for, you know, I don't even know the names all that well. And I'm not sure what that whole red thing is there that it does. But every now and again, it'll, like, have, like, this burst of red come from its chest. And my only reaction was just to straight up get away from it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if it was going to, like, try to siphon health or what. And I was just really trying to play it cautious at this point because, like I said, I wasn't taking this fight seriously through the halfway mark. Then I took it serious once I got it down to, you know, half health. I'm like, oh my, okay.
Well, pretty much with this game or anything when it comes to bosses is when you see light or anything smoky or anything coming
to get
from
the hell
them,
away, right?
get away.
Right, yeah. You want, you know, that's your initial thing.
It's
right
just
here.
it's just common sense
right.
when it comes to bosses.
And I'm just trying to, like, feel them out right here. I think I also noticed that. See, right here again, I back away. I'm not sure what the hell he's doing there, but I'm waiting for that big arm to come down again. But when he brought it down, he brought it up, and it hurt me. So I'm like, oh crap. So now I'm kind of afraid of that move too, you know. And again, I know that there's a lot of mistakes going on in here, you know, now in retrospect for my second fight, so on and so forth. But, you know, I figure, all right, this was my first time fighting the thing. I didn't think I did half bad. I'm sure there's a lot worse out there.
Uh-huh.
So
you're just being safe.
Yeah, I was playing it safe, and you will see a lot of that throughout this. So there you go. That's the Cleric Beast right there. Let's get on to the next. Okay, so who's up on the hit list next is Father Gascoigne.
Father Gaston.
Yeah, Gaston. I'm glad it wasn't Gaston. That guy would have bodied my ass. But you were actually here.
I was. The one thing I remember about this fight is he's really aggressive. Like,
yeah.
The whole way through.
Right, yeah.
So you can't really play it safe with him, except
right,
for
yeah,
the whole dodging.
he's just kind of on you.
Yeah, but I really like the environment.
I did get a visceral there.
Oh,
though.
did you?
Yeah, I did manage to hit him with a. I think that might be my one and only visceral where I actually do get him. I got plenty of bullets to do more, but again, I'm not really too well with the gun. Like I said, this whole run, it's going to be pretty ugly when it comes to that. Now, the attempts number on this is also 1. I did beat him. Yeah, definitely beat him on my first try. And my strategy here was just to kind of use the tombs and the trees.
Yeah.
To get a little bit of room to breathe.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I like the environment to this because
right there I could have got a visceral.
They made it very. I mean, it's a large environment, but it's very compact with everything around it. Mm-hmm. So if anything, it's helping you because of how aggressive he is. But then when you get to his second phase,
the next phase. Another interesting thing to note too is after I beat the game, I ended up checking out some things about the bosses, and I learned that there's an item that I missed called the tiny music box. Mm-hmm. And you are given this item from Gascoigne's daughter.
The daughter?
Yeah, you talk to somebody in like this random window.
Yeah, because that's the one looking for the mother with the brooch, right?
Right. And yes, which she knows that because of my second playthrough now. But yeah, if you get the tiny music box, you're actually able to stagger him a bit, and he'll just kind of, kind of like hold his head and shit, and I don't know, I guess maybe feel a piece of his long lost humanity at that point, and you're able to use the tiny music box to capitalize on that. Unfortunately, I did not have that, so I just had to do this through pure brute force and now dodging.
He changed and he's destroying all the tombstones and stuff.
Right, yeah. So now you can't really use that as a safety net. And I'll be honest with you, I really thought that I was going to die in this fight. But I seen some of them little blood pools of people. You can see them in the background there, and that was a good motivator to be like, I don't want to be like you, damn it, I don't want to be like you, like I want to beat this guy because I already had him on such low health at this point. I was just like, please let me take this guy out. And there's actually a lot more. That was a nice shot right there from the Kirk Hammer. And I was really enjoying the Kirk Hammer quite a bit until I found Ludwig's Holy Blade, or Holy Sword, or what the hell it's called. But again, I get a nice 3-strike on Gascoigne. 4 there, I guess, huh? I think that was a 4 hit. And things just definitely started to look up. And then there you go, prey slaughtered. So let's get on into the next one. Okay, so on to boss number 3 for me. This is the Bloodstart Beast. Now, as you see, I'm picking up my echoes. This, unfortunately, wasn't a one-shot attempt, obviously.
Which shot was this, would you say?
I think that this was probably my 4th attempt here.
4th attempt?
Yeah, and it could have easily been changed, too, because this fight definitely does get a little messed up. Now, I know in retrospect now that there's a couple of things that I could have done a bit better. Like there's like these pungent blood things that you can throw to distract him.
I was gonna ask about that.
Well, of course, I wasn't going to look up a guide or anything like that. I want to do this as organic as possible, and we'll touch base more on the whole like looking up guides and stuff like that as well as we get on into this. But this is one of them fights where I definitely didn't want anything like that going down. So the thing about this boss is at a certain point he is going to start poisoning you, okay? And I think I have my loadout where I want to use fire paper. I'm not exactly too sure why I'm not using it at this point, but I'm pretty sure that I do load up the Kirk Hammer with the fire property.
Are you waiting for like him turning to a next phase or something?
Well, there is another phase where he does become very volatile with poison, and you need to be careful. But I don't know exactly if that's what I was going for or not. This wasn't exactly that long ago. I don't know exactly what the hell is going on in my head here, or if maybe I just kind of felt that this was going to be a failed run. I might have also thought that too, like, you know what, maybe I'm not going to get through this. Well, there I go. So I ended up popping it off, and then I run to my, let's see here. I'm going through my items, and then, I decided to throw a Molotov at him, and then, so I remember sticking with that. Now, right there, that animation that he just did, anytime he strikes me, he's going to hit me with poison, and if the bar goes all the way up, then I'll be poisoned. My health will slowly deteriorate.
Okay, it's that bar that's in the middle of the screen that's got stolen on it.
Right.
Okay.
And that can be a very bad thing, which you will most definitely see in just a bit here. So again, as you can see, I'm really playing it safe. I'm still not too used to my weapon at this point, but I'm really digging the Kirk Hammer. So right there, now I'm poisoned. So now I switch out and I heal I get rid of the poison and then heal myself. But this you want to talk about Gascoigne being aggressive. This dude right here is very aggressive. But unfortunately, like I said, I could have used one of them. I don't know, what is it, like pungent blood vials or something. I don't know the exact names.
I feel like it's another cocktail.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like
it does
cocktail?
look like a cocktail, right? Yeah, because it comes in a bottle and all that. At this point, I'm getting a little excited because I see that I have him down to less than half health. You know, like what would you call it, like 40% or so?
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm feeling excited here, but at the same time, I'm scared as shit. And right here, I thought I was going to die. I thought I was done for right here. I think I even went like, you know, when I was actually playing, you know, like while rolling and shit. Neighbors probably heard me. That's no big deal, though. Whatever they don't understand the struggle of Bloodborne. And it just seems that after he goes into that next poison phase, like he's even more aggressive, you know?
Because he wants to poison you, and he wants to keep you poisoned.
Right, right. He wants to keep me that way until I'm just done for. And he doesn't care if he eats a poisoned dead body either.
Nope.
Because, you know, he likes that shit. It's like salt for him. But yeah, I wasn't too worried about running out of antidotes or anything of such. And right there, I probably wasted a fire paper because he's already pretty low. And also thinking about it from this being like my third or fourth attempt on him.
Well, speaking of that, you probably used it because you're just like, I don't want to fight this guy again. We're
right.
this close.
I want to be done with this. Right.
Yeah, that's what you were probably.
And I honestly have no idea what I would have done. Had I floundered this one like I did the 2 or 3 previous attempts here. And I know that this is a long fight, but I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to bide my time and wait for like that, I guess you could say, perfect opening.
Well, also these guys are scary, you know.
Well, yeah, that's one
and
thing.
you have limited resources too. I mean, I know that you can do your little grind where you could, I think it was more so the blood vials, but
right here I actually didn't even notice that I was poisoned because I didn't get hit, but when he does that one animation where he just kind of like shakes and lets like the poison juices out, you can actually get poisoned by that when you're within proximity.
Gotcha, so it's airborne.
But hey, there we go, we did it. So on to the next. Okay, so now we're on to what I consider to be the hardest boss in Bloodborne, at least for myself. This is Vicar Amelia. This is probably like attempt number 10.
Yeah.
It might even be a little more.
Yeah, I know you were on here for a while.
Yeah, this was definitely a struggle, and I want to explain as to why it was. And the reason as to why it was, because first off, I don't think that I was strong enough from the get-go. I think I might have been around, I don't know, maybe like level 28, 30 or something like that. And I don't think I had enough staggering power, but I think also I wasn't focusing enough on her legs. I guess you got to focus on her legs. And I will also be honest in this one, I did even bring up a guide, and each guide just did not help me out with my playstyle. It was rough for me.
Well, I noticed you went from the Kirk hammer to your greatsword,
yeah,
so you must have found it in between then.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how or when I found it or this or that, but I felt a lot more comfortable with Ludwig's blade. So yeah, I was definitely down with. Also, I don't know if there's really a best weapon out there per se, but more so just what you're comfortable with and what you can do well with, you know. And I felt comfortable with this blade. So, as you can see, it's a struggle now. I looked online on some videos, and every video that I've seen always says the same thing. It said, just get behind her. And for me, that just wasn't an option. I was still getting bodied.
Yeah.
So that just wasn't working for me. And then there's going to be another thing that she does that really brought me at a standstill with the fight, because I honestly probably would have beat her at least around like the, I don't know, maybe 3rd or 4th attempt. But she ends up doing this healing.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay. And I didn't know
that there's pretty much a gimmick to...
Right, that there's a way... Well, any video that I seen was, just keep DPSing her and you'll stagger it and, you know, this and that. And it's like, okay, you know. So I tried all that. It didn't work. Stay behind her. I tried that. It worked a little bit, but, you know, not to my abilities that well. But then I stumbled upon because I just started kind of running around and trying to, gather some resources and stuff like that. And I found this item called Numbing Mist. Okay? And you'll see it. It's in my item right there. It's ready and it's primed to go. And what the Numbing Mist does, it actually stops her from doing this nasty little ability she has to heal herself. Mm-hmm. Okay? So had I had the Numbing Mist earlier, or found it earlier, which I don't know how I missed the damn ladder that led to it, but I did. Well, actually, I take that back. I do know how I missed it, because I thought that ladder brought me back to a previous area I've already been to.
Gotcha.
So I ignored it. But then I was like, I'm going to go back to this area, see if I can gather some resources. So I ended up doing that, but it just took me to this ledge that led nowhere else, but it had a little something there. It gave me like a few of these numbing mists. I don't know if that was it. I don't know if it gave me 6 of them or if maybe I tried using them before, but I'm pretty sure that it gave me 6, which, as you can see, I have all 6 in my inventory right now. And this fight lasts forever. So I also seen a video where it's like, try using the flame sprayer. It did like nothing. So I was just like, okay, this ain't gonna work out. And I even leveled it up too, and I used resources on it to level it up as much as I could. It did absolutely nothing. There's some guy on YouTube right now who has it, who used that flame sprayer and just really fucks her up. But I didn't find any success with it. I don't know if it's maybe different version or this or that. I don't know. So I switched my greatsword to the longsword variant, trying to get some quicker hits in. And I didn't actually realize that Ludwig's blade, when it's in the longsword version, that it actually does more hits and consumes very little stamina. You can swing this thing like 6 times before you run out of stamina. Mm-hmm. So it's actually really nice, but still, even with Vicar Amelia, as you can see, this fight is going on a very, very long time. Right there I backed off because I got scared. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but apparently I kind of had her in a little bit of a stagger mode.
And then there's her heal.
And right here is where I'm just like, no, bitch, you're not doing this to me again. You've already done it like 9 times.
And then I do remember noticing that it just sticks to her. So because I think she tries to do it again. Yeah,
it's not just like a one-shot deal. Like the mist sticks onto her, right? Exactly.
So what's neat is I don't remember if you attack her when she's healing the next time. Mm-hmm. But in a sense, that's kind of like that boss doing its own stagger move for you.
Right, and apparently I guess if I was a little bit stronger at this point, I would have been able to actually stagger her a lot easier. So in other words, if I went to, I think it's going to be the next boss, if I went on and did like the next area and leveled up a bit, I would have been able to get the stagger a bit easier through leveling up, so on and so forth. But unfortunately, I really wanted to beat this bitch. And I got hit by that damn move right there that I practiced so much on. And that she like brings both of her arms down and does kind of like this shock wave. Uh-huh. And right here, she's going to try her shit again. And I'm just like, no, But apparently you can stagger her while she is also kind of in that healing form.
She tried healing again.
Yeah, and right there, I definitely missed on a nice opportunity to get some hits in, and I should have done better than that. Especially considering that this was, and she tried it again right there. Mm-hmm. But I should have done a bit better than that, considering that this is like literally my 10th attempt. This is as many times as I died in Bloodborne. Yep. This was the most that I've died in this game was to this thing. Right here, she just like really starts to wig out, and I get clipped by it too. But I'm not too deterred by it. I still have a nice little supply or a surplus of blood vials, so I'm still thinking like, hey, maybe I can still pull this off. But the fight's going on, a long time at this point. So at the same time, like I'm feeling like yes, this is still doable, but also, man, what am I going to do if I run out of this numbing mist shit? Like, I need to win this now. Like, I have to do this. There's no other way. Right there, I popped off a visceral. Nice. I don't even remember doing that, but apparently I did. And then I club her a couple times with the greatsword. And, I mean, that definitely helped
you
out.
Got some HP off of her.
Yeah, it was definitely nice. I think one of my biggest mistakes here was actually R3 targeting her. I probably shouldn't have done that, and I think that that's my biggest mistake throughout this fight was doing the auto target, because it kind of keeps you like in this set movement where you can actually, without the auto targeting, you can actually move a bit more freely, but you have to be very wary of your surroundings, especially like when it comes to getting, stuck in corners and stuff like that. So you really do have to pick and choose when it comes to that. Right there, I got impatient, and I ate it pretty bad.
I can't
there.
blame you. I mean, you've been fighting her for a while.
Right,
She's
right.
only got that much health.
Right,
but,
right. This is a long ass fight. I know this shit is pretty epic. But again, this is Bloodborne bosses through the the journey of a newbie to the Born / Soul series. This is my first game, of the like, and I do plan on playing Dark Souls 3. I got to pick that one up. And but next time we'll take her out without targeting her. So there you go. There's Vicar Amelia. Let's get on to the next. Okay, so this is the Witch of Hemic. Now, this is my third attempt, I believe. I was doing this fight all wrong. So I will go on ahead and admit here that I did look up a guide. Okay, because my problem is that I was fighting these shadow creatures that she spawns. Okay? You're not supposed to fight them. You're supposed to just try and hit her and, get the hell away from them and this and that. As you see what I did right there. I probably could have gotten some hits. Right there, she does actually have an attack. That attack will actually hurt the shadow dudes, too. So, yeah, you can hit her a few times. And pretty much what you gotta do is run around like an idiot until she appears. Yeah,
you told me the mechanic for this is when you get near her, she shows up.
Right.
But you have to search for her.
Yeah, you kind of have to be like within her proximity. You can't just like stand in one spot and just try to scout her out. You know what I mean? You gotta, you gotta kind of be close to her wherever the hell she's, being invisible. And she's really not so much of a threat at all. It's just that the Shadow Beast you definitely got to look out for. Other than that, though, it's a fairly simple fight, but it's a fairly simple fight with a little bit of a twist, which we'll get into in a second here. And when I first seen it through my first attempt, I was just like, what the fuck, like, wait, what is going on here?
Oh, so it took you a while to find her for that one.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
So that's kind of neat to see that she'll actually show up like on that platform.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. She'll just kind of go anywhere around the map, and she's really not that much of an exciting boss at all. It's just,
she's got like skulls and everything on top of her, right?
I don't know. You got to take a look. I don't know if those were like eyeballs or lesions or what the hell is going on there. But yeah, right here, I was like, oh, what the hell? But she hit him too, and then she's gonna do it again, and she actually killed it there, and she tried to go a third time there too. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of stamina in my greatsword, so I'm honestly kind of regretting not just trying to use my the longsword variant, and hell, even maybe use my gun as well to maybe get a visceral off. I'm not sure if you can on her or not. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but I didn't try, and to be quite honest with you, I don't know why, man. I think I was just kind of set in my old greatsword ways, at this point. So there
you killed her up there.
Yeah, so there she goes, but now it's gonna get a little more interesting here because another one spawns. And I'm like, okay.
2 shadow people?
Yeah, and I do believe that even more will come out. So yeah, now I have another one. She's not exactly at full health, but yeah, you still got to be careful. And another thing you got to really be careful about that I learned very much so the hard way in my past couple of attempts is that she shoots this blue energy at you. And the blue energy doesn't necessarily hurt you, but it holds you. It like puts you in this paralysis state,
which is pretty detrimental, especially if you got one of those
especially
shadow
when he's
guys.
there. They can kill you like almost instantly with just a few.
Okay, I saw that. Attacks. I saw the blue down there.
And if you take too long, the other one will res. Okay.
Which they did.
Which it did. So now I got to run around and I got to look for the bluey stuff. I don't want to be standing around, and that's why you see me rolling around a lot more and, you know, just being a hell of a lot more careful at this point. So I take that one down, but I think that the one that shoots the bluey stuff is still alive. So I'm looking for the blue, you see, and that's a dead giveaway as to where the witch is as well, though. So it's actually kind of a good thing that that it shoots the blue orbs out, because it's a dead giveaway as to where she is. And eventually I'm going to get a little lucky right over here and put her away. But if you take too long, I do believe that the other one will spawn again. I don't know where the hell she is. There it is. So yeah, luckily it doesn't have that long of reach, but now I know where she's at. And then we're going to take care of her. There she is. Just barely caught on my camera. So yeah, there you go. There's the Witch of Hemic. Okay, now what we're looking at here is my fourth attempt at the Shadows of Yharnam. I think it's my third or fourth attempt. I know I say that a lot, but it really is. You know, I mean, I can't remember for sure, but I know that I wasn't stuck on them too long. There, I'm going to pick up my blood echoes. Going to need those just in case things go south, right? So my original strategy was to take out... All right, so they all three of them have a different way of attacking. One is aggressive with swordplay. One has a flamethrower, and the other one shoots fireballs. So what I wanted to do is actually get rid of the flamethrower guy at first, because I don't know, I just found him the scariest. But I learned right away that he's really not the one that I should be worried about.
Yeah, because he's got range, but the fireball person has more range.
Right. And I definitely wanted to take him out. So it was pretty much a toss-up between fireball guy and sword guy. The nice thing about this boss that I will say, like, if there's really any... got stuck on Tombstone there. I mean, that was definitely all my fault, but, you know, whatever. The nice thing I will say about these bosses, though, is that they get staggered quite easily, so you can really get into a groove and, you know, and bring it to them. And again, as you can see, I'm, you know, still sticking with my greatsword variant. Again, I'm not really too comfortable using the gun. And I gotta say, I'm kind of hating myself for it at this point. Right here, they all enrage. I guess if one gets down to a certain HP level, they enrage. So it's probably better to actually get them all down to low HP, because now they're all buffed up and like their attacks are significantly
Well, I'm pretty
stronger.
sure if you would have died on this run and done it again, you probably would have done that strategy.
Right, yeah, quite possibly. I mean, but also at the same time, I was just trying to hit whatever the hell was in front of me and got lucky with, you know what I mean? Because these guys are just kind of all over the place. I didn't look up anything on them, so I'm sure that, you know, my whole strategy was really... Well, most of the I would say like 90% of the bosses, I didn't look up anything for them. Like 90 to 85%, whatever. I'll be honest, you know. I'll be honest on that. But yeah, if I got super stuck like I did on Vicar Amelia, then for sure. And the witch was just kind of annoying me, because it was like, man, this fight feels like it should be easier than what it is, but, you know. I probably should have gave it a few more attempts on the witch. So that one I definitely do feel bad about, but when it comes to Vigor Amelia, I don't feel bad at all. And the reason as to why it is because none of the strategies I looked up worked for me. Like, there wasn't even a strategy that I looked up that even used numbing mist. So I just find that hilarious. So I down one of them. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, one's down. You know, it's gonna get a little easier at least. I want to take out this fucking sword guy, and yeah, he has like this, I don't know what to say, like this upward slash, kind of like an uppercut almost, that just really fucks you up, and it like makes you drop down. So you're, you know, it's just it's a nasty.
So he staggers you.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know why I didn't go for the attack right there, but I really should have. But I think I was afraid of Flame Sword Asshole at that point. So, again, I was just trying to, you know, back away and, I don't know, just do my damnedest. But, yeah, the fight doesn't necessarily get interesting again until, you know, you've seen... Because this was actually one of the fights you've seen me play, like, live. You know?
I did, yeah.
You've seen, you know, you've seen me doing it.
Because I actually think I saw you doing this one. I didn't see your initial ones.
Right. Yeah. And again, I'm trying my best not to get stuck on these damn tombstones, and I think there's at least 2 times where I do. And I'm trying to separate them here with this big old tombstone or whatever.
Oh, I see. That's really smart.
Like, I'm trying to separate them, but
they run pretty quickly back to each other. Like, I wonder if they've got like a mechanic, like in programming, that pretty much just has them trying to find ways to
it
pair
just
up
kind
or,
of pincer you and kind of keep you off guard and this and that. So it was definitely a struggle, and I honestly feel that if I was smart enough to use my gun at this point, along with my longsword variant instead, I think I would have done a lot better in this fight. I don't think that this is a fight that the greatsword variant would be so great at. Like if I can go back, and which I will obviously. When I go back, I'm definitely going to try that variant. I'm going to try and stagger them with the gun and, see what's up. And I hope to, upload that video, too, to just be like, hey, well, here's the progress. This is what I've done now. I've learned, see?
I'm all grown up.
Right, I'm all grown up a little bit now, right? But, yeah, I'm starting to get a bit excited here now because it's like, all right, I'm just going to have this one. Right there, man. I thought I got clipped by that fire, but now I'm like, oh, there's just one. Oh, this guy's going to get beat. And then he does this. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? So, naturally now I'm rolling away and I'm scared again, and now he's doing it again, and I'm just like, oh my god, so that's pretty much when I got the memo that, hey, I need to really hit this guy and try to not give him any room to do
summon.
To summon the snakes, which I do believe I still do anyways, because again, I'm using the wrong variant here. But I try my best anyways, and luckily enough I survived it, because the snake's going to do too much damage. So right here we're going to finish him off, and then we're just going to go on ahead and get to the next. Okay, now we're on Rom, the vacuous spider.
The spider butt.
Yeah, old spider butt over there. So I would say that I would put this boss at the time the number 2 hard boss, because I died so many times to him. And why was that, Katykins?
Well, because what you were doing was you thought that pretty much the whole premise of this fight was to avoid the ads and just go after Rom.
Right.
And I was there watching you do this, and you got pretty close to beating him.
I did, almost on my on my first attempt I got pretty close. And then on my I think 3rd or 4th attempt I missed the combo, but I probably would have gotten with all of the ads.
And pretty much because I looked up a guide for him because of him.
She took pity on me. Okay, I didn't look up the guide.
I looked it up.
She looked it up. So
because I honestly thought it was the same thing too, because the way that this game works is it's just I know it's either
we thought that he was gonna blurt out more spiders if you take them all out.
Mm-hmm. So we just figured he just go after the boss,
right,
and just try to avoid the spiders,
right.
Which is what you were doing, and you're avoiding the attacks Rom was sending at you and all that too. But yeah, you got really close. So it's by the time you got to the 3rd phase, you had how many spiders were on screen?
You know what? I know that I think it's 10. But I don't know if it's 10 each turn. It might even be more.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I think it's 10. But I don't know if it's more for the next round. So it might at the very least be 30.
Yeah.
And I had them all.
I have to give props though, because the game didn't have any slowdown at all.
No, it didn't. It ran really well. And this isn't even on a Pro or anything. This is on a regular PS4, and there was no slowdown whatsoever.
Yeah, but he almost beat Rom with all, because I don't think you killed a single ad. I think you're avoiding them all.
No, yeah, I avoided them all.
But you almost beat Rom, and I was joking with you, just it'd be fun to just upload that.
Right. Hey, that would have been a great video. Yeah, that would have been a great video.
But pretty much the strategy with Rom is it's very simplistic to the point where you think it's not even that. But what they want you to do for Rom is it's a battle of patience. Is you have to take out the ads one by one
while avoiding his AOEs
attacks,
and,
which become more aggressive missiles, in each phase. And I guess with the babies it's kind of the game's way of telling you just
the babies
is the game's way of telling you, hey, they're weak on their butt, hit Rom on his butt.
Right. And I pretty much figured out everything, like dodging the AoE and the ice or the crystal thing or whatever. I pretty much all that strategy I figured out on my own. But then, Katie Kins took mercy on my soul, and she's just like, well, I know he's stubborn. He ain't gonna look it up, so I'll just look it up for him and tell him. And so that was basically the route that we took. And obviously that was the right one, but I still had a different strategy still, even before this, was all right, well, thin the herd a bit, and then we'll just, take them out. Because I felt like it would take too long. But after a set amount of time, and not using any speed running strats, obviously, because those guys are, fucking ridiculous. But, we finally managed to persevere and get through it. And, all right, so, I had to take out the ads. I thought he was going to shoot more out. Yeah. It's like a larva thing.
The way that this game works, I don't blame you for having that mentality.
Right, I thought it was going to be a lot more trickier than that, So I guess I just kind of gave the game a bit more credit than I should have, at that point. But, all right, I mean...
Yeah, it's almost funny to think that the type of boss that he is, you think that he'd be more so in, like, the number 2 spot, like, in bosses that you fight. Because he really isn't that... Like, he didn't really seem like that much of a challenge once you started doing this, right? Taking out the ads?
Yeah, no, it was just basically dodge the AoE.
Yeah,
like, okay, so what he does is he'll do, like, a circle AoE, and then he'll do kind of like this like missile thing on the second phase, or like this crystal missile thing, I should say. And then on the third phase, it's basically the same thing, but he also does add in another move where he'll try to like kind of roll on you or kind of headbutt you and stuff. I don't think he does it on the second phase. Let's see here. Just kind of reviewing the footage here. I'm trying to get off to his side.
Yeah, because you're almost at second phase. Because I know he kind of teleports and then he spawns more ads.
And then for his third phase, he'll do the same moves again. But not only will he do the same moves, but he'll do them a lot more frequent. And then he'll also do kind of like that headbutt and that roll too, which I think it'll also like turn into like kind of like the AoE. So when he stands up like that right there, he'll do the crystal missile, I guess is what I like to call it.
Yeah, that's what's kind of nice is with those attacks is his what is that called? His telegraphs
are
very
a big telegraph, right?
Yeah, are very obvious.
And another thing that I learned too is do not at all use the auto locking on the enemies, because you need that camera to be free so you can look at ROM at all times. And this isn't like a tutorial. I kind of feel like this is almost a tutorial, but it isn't. This is just how I got through it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to sound like it's a tutorial because, there's probably better ways to go about it, whatever. Like I said, this is just seeing the journey through the eyes of a newbie, playing Bloodborne for the first time.
Or being supreme and killing Rom by not touching the ads.
Right, by not touching... Which, that could have been a video, man. Yeah. It could have. I was so damn close.
You were close.
I was close, I know. But, alright, I mean, I don't really think we got much more to say than that, so we'll just let the fight play out. And we will see you in part 2.